The Fight Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Pledges $5 and gets $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code SGPN.
They say I'm unproven, untested, that I talk big and fight small. Well, surprise, bitch.
It's time for America to see what real power looks like.
I want to see who's still talking when this right hand flies.
This is the fight that shuts everyone up.
This is the fight that shuts man down.
This is the moment. This is what you want in boxing. What a shot. It is lights out.
Say hello to your new CEO. I wouldn't say it was a hostile takeover, but it was certainly planned. And Mams and I are going to be working together to finally put Misfits where it belongs on the world stage. The largest disruptive force in sports entertainment history. So considering that, somebody who failed at their obligations to make this organization as big as it should have been has been ousted, and I'm the new CEO, I guess it's my job to make the most entertaining fights. Who's the person who everybody wants to see fight? Who's the guy I can sign that everybody will tune in to watch fight? It's me. Isn't that convenient? Quite easy. I heard he's a great guy, easy to work with. So for that reason, I myself am going to be fighting as CEO on the next Misfits show, December 20th, here in Dubai. And if I'm going to fight, I mean, it's been a while. If I'm going to train and get in there, I may as well do it for a belt. And if it's going to be for a belt, it may as well be for the biggest one. So I, as CEO, order a mandatory title defense for the heavyweight Misfits belt between myself, Andrew, the top G, King Cobra Tate, against Chase DeMoor. You don't have a chance and you don't have a choice, Chase. You have to do it. It is mandatory. So I strongly recommend you train. You may be younger than I am. You may be more active. You may be bigger. But everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face. December 20th, Misfits, our largest show ever produced here in Dubai, and I will be headlining myself.
I thought we had done the final fight show of 2025.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yep, Jake Paul's at it again. He is involved in a fight that we just have to talk about and we just have to cover because everybody else is talking about it and covering it, and it is massively intriguing. Why is Jake Paul stepping into the ring with elite heavyweight, ex-heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, and how is this going to last longer than 30 seconds if it's a real fight? But that is the intriguing question being asked by everybody. Is this a real fight, or is this going to add credibility to the argument that many people have made for a number of years surrounding Jake Paul? Are his fights fixed? Are his fights choreographed? Do his fights carry pre-contractual obligations to allow certain things to happen, such as a fight going a certain specific length of time?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
So we are going to break down if Jake Paul's fights are actually more WWE or are they actually real boxing contests, because this is the one for me that has crossed the line. This is the one for me that will actually determine the difference between reality and fiction when it comes to Jake Paul, because I don't care how much you train or who your trainers are. I don't care how much you improve, whether it be in training or whether it be actually in the ring during your exhibition fights that you've had against MMA fighters. I don't care how much money you have to spend on your career, on your nutrition, on your training. I don't care about any of that stuff, because there is absolutely no way you can go from losing to Tommy Fury to taking a fight against a granddad Mike Tyson to then being scheduled to take on Gervonta Davis, who is under 140 pounds. And now you're in a heavyweight clash with Anthony Joshua, the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. No matter what you do, whether you are stepping in there with AJ or whether you got that fight against Canelo that you wanted, because you've been calling both of these two guys out for a long time, I always knew that in a real fight, Canelo would stop Jake Paul in under a round, and that Anthony Joshua would do the same, that he would stop him under or inside a round. So if this goes past 3 minutes, and I would say the same if he was going up against Canelo, who is considerably lighter and less powerful than AJ, serious question marks need to be asked. And I am going to obviously break it down here, and I'm going to look at the lines between fact and fiction, reality and and sports entertainment. That's the only thing that we can describe it as. And we are going to try and arrive at a betting pick. On this very same weekend, Andrew Tate makes his debut for Misfits Boxing. And I'm almost certain that this is leading towards Andrew Tate ending up in a boxing ring against KSI. But in order to do that, it is absolutely pivotal that Andrew Tate goes on to win his fight tomorrow night against Chase DeMoor. So we are going to cram that into this show as well. This is, of course, the Fight Show here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Get access to all of the free picks and all of the free podcasts from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network in one convenient place. And that is, of course, the SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just simply type in SGPN. If you are specifically looking for additional content from me, free content, then search for the Lock Betting Podcast and seek out the Lock Betting YouTube channel as well. Just search for Lock Betting on YouTube and search for Lock Betting wherever you get your podcast. I'm posting bonus content every week, including free plays, including the EPL opening line report. Over on the Lock Betting Podcast, you are getting the Bundesliga show every single week for free, and you are getting my NFL preview with my colleague Cav. We have never had a losing season in the NFL. We post our picks over at my service, lockbetting.com. We have 11 winning seasons and we are on the way to 12 because we so far have 12 winning weeks out of 15 in the NFL this season. So it's going the same way as it usually does. My picks are posted via lockbetting.com. That is my service that has delivered 150 months in a row of transparent and tracked profit. How is it transparent and tracked? Because I post my spreadsheets every single month and then I post them publicly, not only on the lockbetting.com website, but the latest ones are all posted on Instagram with the latest 3 pinned to the top of the page. By looking through them, you can see the type of bets we do, the sports we bet on, and most importantly, how we sensibly manage a bankroll and still haven't had a single losing month for over 12 and a half years. So 150 months undefeated. No place to run, no place to hide. My spreadsheets are there for everybody to see publicly. They go to an adjudicator who verifies the spreadsheets. They're now posted publicly and verified by comments from the members who are making this money, and that could be you. And for 1 month only, we are allowing you to get the ultimate pack for the price of the soccer package. So go to lockbetting.com, purchase yourself a soccer package, and until the end of December, you will get ultimate pack picks, which is all sports, and then you will go back to soccer. But you only have 12 days left of this. So if you haven't taken advantage of it, I recommend that you do it ASAP. So for the price of a soccer pack, you can get plays for tonight's boxing, tomorrow's boxing, and for the NFL this weekend as well. But I'm actually encouraging you, unlike others, do your research, do your due diligence, have a look through my spreadsheets. I'm not selling you $99 weekly packages. I'm not selling you $30 plays like Doc Sports. I'm not selling you 4% plays, 5% plays. I'm not selling you whale plays where I'm not transparent, I'm not tracked, where these people have no history to see how they've done. They just reset every week. If they lose, they sweep it under the rug. If they win, they promote the fuck out of it to lure you back in to buy another play or another package the following week. I don't do that. I don't run from anything, and I wouldn't want to run from my record because my record is absolutely phenomenal. 150 months in a row, transparent and tracked. On my spreadsheet, you will see my losses, but fortunately, you will see a lot more wins. That's how we win every single month because we invest in sports. We don't gamble on sports. We take an investment-based approach, and it leads to a profit on a monthly basis as verified by the tracked and transparent and publicly posted spreadsheets that you can see both at lockbetting.com where you sign up for the service and over on the Instagram at lockbetting. And also we've got them pinned at SGP Soccer, which is my X account because I'm the host of the Soccer Gambling Podcast. If you have any questions, my DMs are open across all social media, both on Instagram and on X. So just contact me to ask any questions you might have.
The reason why people think there's a clause is because they don't understand how Jake's beaten Woodley, Silva, and other people. I think that's what they just can't get their head around. So in short, he's done well to put himself in position, and there is no clause in the contract.
You're not a man who plays with his food.
No, I don't play with my food. No way. No way. If I can hurt you, I'm gonna hurt you, bro. And if you, no, I'm not gonna say, but if you hit me once, I'm gonna hit you twice. That's just the game we're in. You know, in boxing, it's a great game because, like, if you watch football, you don't want it to end in the first 10 minutes. You want to watch a full 90-minute football match, soccer match, or NFL match. With boxing, if I can end it in 10 seconds, I'll do it.
Now, if that were true, then Anthony Joshua to win in round one would be the lock of the century. If Anthony Joshua is being legitimate and he is going to try and end this fight in round one, then AJ to win in round one would be the lock of the century. However, if you're listening to a gambling show, you probably know a decent amount about gambling. And lock of the century plays are not priced up at 4-1 plus 400, which is the current situation when it comes to AJ knocking out Jake Paul in round one. It's 4-1 on round one. It's 4-1 on round two. It's 5-1 on round three, 7-1 on round four, 10-1 round five, 14-1 round six, 20-1 round 7 and 28-1 in round 8. This is an 8-round fight, and the decision is available at 5-1. AJ is the 1-8 favourite. That's the best price available for him to win this fight. He is as short as 1-12 in some places. Jake Paul is available at 6-1, which is absolutely crazy to me because I would not bet at 100-1 on Jake Paul. Jake Paul is absolutely categorically not winning this fight. The fight outcome odds here have AJ at 2-7 to win via TKO KO. And for me, that has to be one of the best parlay pieces of this entire weekend. Like, put that together with Andrew Tate and add the Detroit Lions this weekend because they never lose back-to-back games, and you have yourself an incredible parlay that I think you can use as a decent bankroll builder. As I said, it's 5-1 on the decision. Jake Paul is at 16-1 by TKO KO. He's 12-1 to get it done via a decision. The draw is at 22-1. Incredibly, that has moved from 33-1. And the most interesting market to me here is the total rounds market. It's 1-3 minus 300 that Jake Paul gets past over 1.5 rounds. That means Jake Paul would have to survive 3 minutes in a ring with a former heavyweight champion of the world, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and an additional minute and a half in the second round of this fight. It's 5-2 plus 250 on the under. 5-2 plus 250 that AJ knocks out Jake Paul within 4.5 minutes. He knocked out Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. This is just crazy to me. This just smells of corruption. It's reached a point where I have tried to defend this. I have tried to cover these fights as a legitimate contest. And maybe some of them were, and maybe some of them weren't. We for sure know that there was something agreed, at least a handshake agreement, that Jake Paul wasn't going to hurt Grandad Mike Tyson, because Jake Paul was not trying to stop Mike Tyson. Jake Paul categorically allowed Mike Tyson to see the final bell. Mike Tyson offered up nothing in that fight. And if Jake Paul is stopping the likes of a Tyron Woodley, if Jake Paul's going in there and beating Anderson Silva, he could have finished Mike Tyson anytime he wanted to, and he chose to allow that fight to go to the scorecards. Was that out of the goodness of his heart? Was that because he knew there wasn't going to be any benefits there to knocking out and potentially hurting and damaging an old man like Tyson? Or was it something pre-contractual, or just simply a handshake agreement? Over 3.5 rounds is priced up at 10 to 11 minus 110. Under 3.5 rounds, 10 to 11 minus 110. Now we start to get to the point of the fight where it starts to favour AJ getting the stoppage. Under 4.5 rounds, 1 to 2 minus 200. Over 4.5 rounds, 6 to 4 plus 150. Over 5.5 rounds, 9 to 4. Under 5.5 rounds, 1 to 3 minus 300. Over 6.5 rounds, 5 to 2 plus 250. Under 6.5 rounds at 2 to 7 minus 350. Fight to go to distance, yes, 10 to 3. No, minus 500. Absolutely insane. And this is one of those situations. I was speaking earlier to my buddy Disco Inferno, former WCW wrestler, lives out in Vegas, and he gave me some insight into this fight. Told me about how Jake Paul needed a big fight, otherwise he was going to lose his deal at Netflix. Obviously, we know a few months ago that he knew that he was stepping in there with Gervonta Davis, and to go from Gervonta to Anthony Joshua is absolutely ludicrous. Now, is this going to lead on to something else for Jake Paul, such as going on to fight Francis Ngannou? Is he going to end up having that rematch with Tommy Fury? Is he going to someday end up in the ring with Conor McGregor? You would think that Jake Paul would need to have a respectable performance here. Whilst for Anthony Joshua, for him to have a respectable performance, he needs to stop Jake Paul, and he needs to do it relatively quickly. So if there is some type of handshake agreement in place, what is the sweet spot for that handshake agreement? What is the sweet spot when it comes to Anthony Joshua getting his hand raised, leaving with his dignity for taking the fight, whilst Jake Paul still leaves with credibility because A, he had the bravery to go in there, and B, he lasted a certain amount of time and deserves credit for it. But what is that certain amount of time where it doesn't damage Anthony Joshua and it gives Jake Paul credibility for getting in there? For me, it would be getting past 1 round. Maybe others would see it differently, but I think if Jake Paul does make it out of the first round, I think if the second round starts, then that would be a respectable outing for Jake Paul. In a real fight, he doesn't survive those 3 minutes. So I have now completely crossed over from covering these fights as a legitimate contest to genuinely believing, or at least I will genuinely believe, that there is some type of at least gentleman's agreement in hand. If Anthony Joshua allows Jake Paul to slide into the second round, then I believe that was agreed. So I'm not capping this as someone who's trying to get to the bottom of if it's real or not. I'm trying to find the sweet spot here where you guys are guaranteed to make something from this fight, where Jake Paul, if it is some type of handshake agreement, ends up with respectability, whilst AJ doesn't lose too much face either. Now, some are saying just by taking the fight, AJ has lost some face, but when you are getting paid over $100 million to do something, sometimes generational wealth becomes the absolute priority, which makes a lot of sense. So I think getting into the second round is good enough. I think there's value on AJ to win this fight in round 2 and in round 3. So that's what I would be betting on. I also like the under 3.5 at 10 to 11 minus 110. And I also think under 2.5 at 6 to 5 should also cash for you, because that gives you a minute and a half in the third round as well. I don't think there's any way that Jake Paul should be seeing the 4th round in this fight. But if you want to be super safe, you can go with AJ rounds 1 to 4, which is available at 4 to 6 minus 150. But for me, it ends in the 2nd or it ends in the 3rd. So I'm putting up two selections there at a price of 4 to 1, 5 to 1. But really, it should end in the very first round. It should be well under 3.5 rounds, and it should even go under 2.5. It should even go under 1.5. But I am very suspicious with where the money's gone here in this fight. Somebody seems to know something. It's going to be one of those situations where you look stupid at the end either way, if you bet on the wrong side. If AJ goes out there and knocks him out in one round, you've missed the opportunity of the lifetime. You bought into the conspiracy that these fights were fixed, and you missed out on opportunity of piling on a very, very obvious outcome, an absolute lock at 4 to 1 plus 400. If it ends up going past the 3rd, 4th, or even 5th round, then you know that this fight is completely fixed. You'll be kicking yourself for not realizing that this crazy fight was ever made. And obviously it was fixed. Obviously it had WWE connotations attached to it. And you'll feel stupid for losing your money and investing in Anthony Joshua to win this fight early on. And you'll realize that there was a pre-fight agreement. In a real fight, nothing is going to convince me that Jake Paul could get into the 2nd or 3rd round against AJ. Even the fact that they've made the ring bigger, it's a 22 by 22 rather than a 20 by 20, he still wouldn't be able to run away from AJ. So round 2, round 3, under 2.5, under 3.5, rounds 1 to 4. That's where I'm going with this. That's the type of bets that I'm going to be making. If you want to see where I go officially, head over to lockbetting.com, grab yourself an ultimate pack for the price of a soccer pack, and you'll get yourself this fight, Tate's fight, and you'll get yourself the NFL this weekend as well. You'll also get it the following week because that soccer package is giving you the ultimate package until the 31st of December. So go ahead, take advantage of it. I'm actually going to give you guys a lock for these 2 fights as well. I've already posted my lock. So there won't be a lock at the end of this show, but I have posted it for everybody for free over on YouTube. So if you go to the Lock Betting YouTube now, there is a 2-minute video there, and it will give you the lock and it will outline the reasoning behind the lock. So be sure to check it out. Head over to the Lock Betting YouTube channel. So we spoke about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate makes his debut for Netflix this weekend. We are also going to cover that here on the show. Before we do that though, let me let you know that we have partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. Be sure to check out Kalshi because new customers get $20 when you use the promo code SGPN. So that's Kalshi, Kalshi, and your promo code SGPN. Let me also utilize this pause to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times. Underdog has you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. They did this last year as well. It is very, very good. So be sure to take advantage of it and head over to Underdog, where they've got a brand new offer for new customers, and they've increased this offer as well. Play just $5 and you're now getting $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code SGPN. We're sponsored to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend just $5 if you use the promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. Also, be sure to check out Rhythm. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm and use that promo code SGPN25.
Andrew is going to fucking murder this guy. The whole rumor is everyone's like, Andrew's the new CEO of Misfits. That's true. We demanded 10% of the company. If Andrew fought on Misfits and then becomes the face of Misfits, your company has just gone up 50% in value. Give us 10%. There's a simple business negotiation. Misfits is valued at $520 million US. So if you think about it, even besides his prize money, which he can discuss if he wants, I won't say what amount it is, it's a $52 million payday. Full disclosure, when he's like, oh, KSI's fired, Andrew's the new CEO. KSI still owns loads, and he was perfectly fine with this move. He knows it's good for marketing and stuff. Okay, he's like, what the fuck, man? You fired me, you put Andrew Tate in charge. And he knows that influencer boxing is kind of going like this, and Andrew's going to fucking spike it up. So the 20% he owns now is going to be worth fucking twice as much. And he had to give, what, 2% of his own personal equity away?
Andrew, away from that now. How ready are you to get in the ring tomorrow night?
I've been ready for a very long time. I cannot wait to get in there and fight. I cannot wait. It's all I've been thinking about for 4 months. I want to get in there. I want to fight. I want the muscle memory to kick in. I want to smash his face in.
Any nerves at all that come with fighting?
I think I'm more excited than nervous. Very excited. I want to get in there. I'm tired of waiting.
What's changed the most in the past years that you haven't been fighting?
I don't think much has changed. I think I've had some fantastic time off to let some injuries heal and make sure that I came back to this hungry, and I did. The fighting camps went fantastic. I have nothing negative to say about fight camp. I'm 100% ready for this fight.
Do you feel like you have to send a message to the likes of... Do you feel like you have to send a message to the likes of KSI, Jake Paul of this one?
I don't owe anyone a fucking message. I don't owe anybody a fucking message. Fuck them.
Andrew, is this personal, Chase?
It's personal because it's me versus me. Fuck it. It's me. It's personal because I'm involved. Of course, it's personal.
A lot's been made of the weight, Andrew. How do you think you looked on the scales today?
I don't care. I don't care. None of this. This is all uninteresting to me. I don't give a fuck about the weight. I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I want to get there. I want to punch his face in. I want to be done with this.
Andrew, you've been confident that this is going to get ready for champ.
Bruce has been my partner my whole life with absolutely everything I've ever done. And I'm glad he's been here for this as well.
Andrew,
Last question.
Andrew, you said before, like when you were kickboxing, that it wasn't so much the winning that you loved as much as the imposing a loss on the opponent. Do you still feel that way, and do you feel that way about Chase?
Absolutely. He's going to have to eat a lot of humble pie, and I think it'll make him a better person afterwards. I think he'll grow into a better human being after he gets up off the bench. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just one question.
So Andrew Tate steps into the ring tomorrow night. On the same card, you have Tyron Woodley fighting Anderson Silva in a boxing match, which is interesting to me at least. But we're just going to stick to covering the main fight. It's Andrew Tate versus Chase DeMoor. Andrew Tate is the 1-4 -400 favorite, best price to win this fight. You can get up to 5-1 on Chase DeMoor. He's more widely available at 4-1. The draw is at 20-1. Method of victory odds went up only a few hours ago, which is why this podcast is much later than I wanted it to be. I was going to wait until a cutoff time, and luckily it went up just before the cutoff time so that this podcast is still relevant for this fight and for the earlier fight we covered between Joshua and Jake Paul. So the method of victory odds are Andrew Tate by TKO KO at 1-2 -200. Andrew Tate via decision at 7-2. Chase DeMoor via KO TKO at 8-1. DeMoor via decision 14-1, and the draw is at 25-1. It's hard to find much value here in this fight, unlike the last one, and everything I picked out from the last one could actually be completely wrong, because we could be giving out bets for a fixed fight that doesn't end early whatsoever, and Jake Paul could be allowed to coast into the late rounds, although I just can't picture what that would look like. I just can't picture what it would look like Anthony Joshua allowing Jake Paul to move round the ring whilst he hits powder puff jabs. I can't visualize it at all. But this fight should be more simplistic. This should simply be top G going in there, taking care of business, increasing the worth of Misfits, increasing anticipation for future fights against the likes of KSI, maybe even Jake Paul, and maybe even at some point Conor McGregor gets involved in this, or maybe Conor McGregor goes to Netflix and does something with Jake Paul over there, or maybe Conor McGregor will actually one day return to the octagon. Maybe he's going to be on that White House card. Ultimately, I don't think Conor McGregor is completely done. When you watch him talking about fighting, when you watch him, when you see crazy videos released where he's teaching Mike Tyson how to box, you just know he's still passionate about it. So he's going to end up somewhere, I think, in 2026. But I don't know if that destination is Tate, but I do know there are bigger things and better things for Tate on the horizon. And this is just part one of many parts. So Andrew Tate has to be winning this fight. Otherwise, there is absolutely no good reason for Tate to risk his tire, to risk his entire reputation and give his detractors any sense of satisfaction by losing to this guy, Chase DeMoor. He has legions of male fans who believe in everything that he says. And what he doesn't want is a clip posted onto the internet where Andrew Tate is a massive worldwide figure. And what he doesn't want surfacing on the internet is a knockout or a stoppage or a loss to this guy, and that be the new clip that trends in relation to Andrew Tate rather than anything he says or does. What he instead wants out there is a flashy knockout, and that's what I think he's going to get. I think Andrew Tate is going to get the stoppage. His opponent, former college football star turned reality star, turned actor, turned influencer, turned professional boxer, actually lost his first 4 fights with Misfits, but turned things around in January 2024 by winning his first fight. And since then, he won that one by decision. And since then, he's won 9 in a row. He has stayed relatively active. That may sound scary, but there are levels in combat sport. Andrew Tate is a former professional kickboxer, 4-time world champion in the sport. He retired actually in 2026 due to eye injuries. Again, that could be concerning, but he came back for a short time in 2020 and still beat 3 Romanian kickboxers, all by knockout when he came back. I'd definitely rather be with Tate here, even though obviously that's clear by the odds that Tate is the favourite for a reason. But even at 38 years old, give me the former kickboxer over Chase DeMoor, a 29-year-old actor turned boxer. And the storyline here is clear. Part of the storyline for this fight, and Tristan alluded to it there, is that Tate has taken over as CEO from Misfits from KSI. Now, you just know there's going to be some type of WWE Tate versus KSI fight down the line, not only for the belt, but probably for control of Misfits as well. So bigger and better things are coming down the line. This, for me, is just part 1 of Andrew Tate being involved with Misfits. And in order to get to part 2, 3, and 4, or however many parts there may be, Andrew Tate simply needs to win this fight. And that's what I think he'll do. I think he'll get the stoppage, even though it's a 1-2 minus 200. Again, parlay piece, just like AJ to get the stoppage. And I think AJ will get it done inside the first 4 rounds. Tate will get the stoppage here as well. Hopefully there'll be more props tomorrow so we can perhaps bet on Tate getting it done early. I'm not really too concerned about getting to the scorecards. I think what we're going to get here is a showreel knockout, and that will benefit Misfits massively because that will be played all over the world. It will get millions and millions and millions of views, and then there'll be mass interest for anything else that Andrew Tate does next in the boxing ring, which, as I said, will probably end up leading to a fight with KSI. So that is it for this edition of The Fight Show, and this really will be your final fight show of 2025. I wasn't baited into doing one for John Cena's last match last weekend. I did actually do a preview of that over on the Lock Betting podcast. Next year, I am going to split the fight show between Lock Betting and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I don't feel this show gets the promotion that it deserves, given the fact that we have phenomenal record here picking fights, a phenomenal lot record as well. As I told you guys at the top of the show, there is a lock for this show, and you can find it on the Lock Betting YouTube channel. So simply head over to YouTube, search for Lock Betting, and you will see a short video there. It will be in the short section, and it's a 2-minute video giving you the lock that would usually be at the end of the show. Instead, I've decided to post it over to YouTube. So be sure to check it out. It's actually a very, very rare 2-unit play. Don't often do 2-unit plays, but I'm pretty certain that this one is going to come through. And if it doesn't, then I will be truly stunned. And if one leg of it doesn't come through, that will probably be down to the fact that that particular leg of the parlay, it's because it's a two-legged parlay. That particular leg of the parlay was a rigged leg of the parlay. But of course, as I said, to get all of my official plays that go towards my tracked and transparent spreadsheets that accumulate to 150 months in a row of transparent and track profit, get yourself over to lockbetting.com. Get yourself 12 days of the ultimate pack for the price of the soccer package. Now on day 12, if you sign up today, it will be day 12, which will be the 1st of January. You will stop getting plays for the ultimate pack. So it'll be up to you to decide if you want to stay with soccer, for the remaining 19 days of the 30-day package? Or do you want to upgrade to the Ultimate Pack and stick with what you're getting, which is plays for all sports, which will include the NFL, which will include the boxing, and I haven't even mentioned darts on this because we have made a phenomenal start to the Darts World Championship, which is going on right now at Ali Pali in London. We have absolutely killed it. Betting on the first round, have landed several underdogs. We do this every single year, and you will get that as well as part of the package. So head over to lockbetting.com, do yourself a favor and start investing in sports rather than gambling on sports. Good luck with all of your bets as always, guys, and thanks for listening.